Welcome to Lawson Talks Ball, where the pigskin is life. And listen, today we had big breaking news. John Harbaugh has signed a deal with the New York Giants, and he will be the Giants' new head coach. And for me, this makes sense for both sides. The Giants needed a stabilizing force. They needed something to get that fan base back on board, man. And we haven't seen them bring in a big name in quite some time. We saw them bring in Daboll, which he had some pedigree, but wasn't anything special to write home about. We all remember the Joe Judge hire, and I remember people telling me that was going to work out. And normally I'm negative on a lot of head coaching hires, but this is one I'm positive on. But I'm not saying this is a 10 out of 10, but I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Firstly, I think this Giants roster is actually pretty good. I think this defense underperformed drastically this year. I think you have Jackson Dart, a quarterback that did show signs, although he is an absolute Tasmanian devil, and I'm not sure how you get that under control and make him play without trucking people like a running back in Madden. I don't know how you get that under control, but that's going to be Harbaugh's biggest challenge. One thing with Harbaugh you're going to get is you normally get good special teams, and we saw that devolve against the Steelers, which ended up costing him his job. But I think at the end of the day, the thing that cost him his job with the Ravens was he was there a long time, and he ended up losing Lamar in the locker room. So overall, I think this is a very good hire for the Giants. I also think Harbaugh's going to bring stability and control. One thing the Mara family will give you is time. And that's one thing Harbaugh deserves, and that's one thing he's going to need. Joe Schoen hasn't had the worst 2 drafts in the world. Let's give the man credit. But I do think Harbaugh pushes him out, and I think he gets his own guys in, which I think he's done enough in this league to do. But that is some of the negatives I'm going to get to about Harbaugh when we go down in the video. And like I said, this is a 7.5, 8 higher. But the first thing I'm hearing is Todd Monken linked as offensive coordinator. And I have a lot of Ravens fans on the other channel. And I got to say, man, I'm not the biggest Monken guy. And we all saw how he used Derrick Henry against the Patriots. We all saw how some of the playoff performances went on offense from the Ravens. So I didn't like that piece of news. And one thing you have to learn about John Harbaugh, this could be a great thing, this can be a bad thing. It just depends what avenue and what spectrum of glasses you're going to put on to view it. He's an extremely loyal guy. Ravens fans wanted Zach Orr gone for the longest time, the defensive coordinator. They wanted Monken gone for the last 3 years. They went nowhere. Harbaugh likes stability, and stability helps in this league, especially for a team like the Giants. Although there hasn't been a lot of churn over there, we all didn't expect to see Schoen and Daboll back. But overall, for Harbaugh, man, I think this is a good choice for Harbaugh. We got Malik Neighbors coming back on offense, who we know is an absolute stud, and there's no reason why he can't be a top 10 receiver. The cap situation shouldn't be too terrible, especially since there's no high-priced quarterback on the books. I think Harbaugh's poised to make a move, especially when you're looking at this NFC East. The Eagles are in flux. The Cowboys completely choked the season away after that Detroit game. They completely crumbled like a cookie, and that's normally what the Cowboys do. What are the no-names, Commanders, whatever name you want to call them, going to do at offensive coordinator? Is Jaden Daniels damaged goods? What happened with that arm injury? We saw it happen 2 or 3 times this year. So I feel like this is a good division to get into. And listen, if you took the Giants job last year, you would have been set up for failure. They had the toughest schedule in the NFL, and some were saying that was one of the toughest schedules in NFL history. I'm not here to make excuses for Daboll. I'm not here to do any of that. But I think this is a good move from both sides. Harbaugh to the Giants, I absolutely love it. There's going to be moves that I don't like, and it's going to make people butthurt. But we have to be honest and we have to be critical of these moves. And that's one thing Giants fans haven't been enough of in the past. When they were cheerleading, putting the pom-poms on for Joe Judge, I told you guys that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. But one thing we know Harbaugh brings is game management, locker room management. I think he'll get this team in order. And one thing, Giants fans, this defense can't be worse than it was last year. Hit the like button, subscribe. Lawson Talks Ball.